Welcome to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries. They ride again, not just over the arid wastes of Midworld, but over the broken pathways of destiny, of fate, of Ka. This is no common story. This is a clap of thunder resounding in the emptiness, a beat that pounds in the hearts of those who dare stand and be honest. This is the quest of the gunslingers, the guardians, the seekers of the tower. Welcome to Wolves of Calla, where bravery is tried in the face of horror, where legends tote dusty boots and walk ancient revolvers, and the distinction between good and evil becomes fuzzy like heat on the horizon. Here you will not find idle heroes or thrills at cheap cost. You will find grit, you will find loyalty, you will find Roland Desjane and his quartet, weathered but unbent, fighting the impossible, in a country where children are taken and brought back shattered, where the enigmatic wolves come down with lightning in their fists and with death in their hands. One small town has the audacity to speak the most subversive word of all: hope. But hope, like a knife, cuts best when it is held by the willing. And make no mistake, Roland and his group are willing. This isn't just fantasy. This isn't just a Western. This is a reckoning with every page. Stephen King challenges you to look inside and wonder, when the wolves come for your world, will you be courageous or will you flee? There are guns to be loaded, promises to be kept, and wheels of fate to be turned. So open this book not as a reader, but as a witness to destiny itself, because the wolves are coming, and Khan never forgets. Part 1. The Gunslingers Arrive. Book Wolves of the Calla by Stephen King. Prologue. The Road to the Calla. The story begins with Roland Desjane, the last gunslinger, and his quartet: Eddie Dean, Susanna Dean, Jake Chambers, and the Billy Bumbler Oi, riding the perilous roads of Midworld, still on their holy mission to find the Dark Tower. But now they find themselves heading for a quiet, forgotten town named Calla Bryn Sturgis. But this is no normal town. The group soon hears of a sinister threat. Each generation, the wolves come down from the east, mounting gray horses, wearing unnerving masks, and abduct one twin child from almost every set. These abducted children are brought back rent, mentally and emotionally scarred. The villagers live in terror, accepting this ritual as an unavoidable curse. The villagers need assistance. Enter the gunslingers. Chapter 1. Palaver in the Twilight. Messenger Tion Jaffords goes to seek out Roland and his quartet, pleading with them to assist in defending his village from the next attack of the wolves. Tion's family has twin births, and he will not accept the destiny which has plagued his people for so many centuries. Roland, propelled by Ka, the power of destiny, accepts going to the Calla and meeting with the villagers in a formal palaver gathering. The group recognizes that they have little time, for the wolves will return once more shortly. Time is short, and the mystery is thick, but something else is bothering Roland. Chapter 2. The Shadow of the Rose. As they travel, Roland starts to develop physical weakness, his hip pains with a ghastly, near-supernatural ailment, and although he keeps it from the others, the agony torments him incessantly. But Roland does not flinch, keeping his agony concealed behind the metal of his task. Meanwhile, Jake, a boy reincarnated into this world, experiences a resonance in his mind. Something is summoning him. A whisper within the darkness. Susanna, also, starts to feel weird, but in a way she can't describe. There's a darkness within her, moving, watching. The group doesn't yet know it, but something horrible has started to stir within her. Something other. And then there's the rose, the mystical connection to the Dark Tower that survives in a world of its own. New York City. Eddie starts dreaming of it, sensing it. The worlds are intersecting, time and space are warping. Something is amiss. Chapter 3. Welcome to Calla Bryn Sturgis. When they arrive, the quartet is greeted cautiously by the populace. They are regarded with suspicion and wonder. Roland's arrival, especially, awakens ancient tales from the past, stories of gunslingers who arrived once and never returned. They encounter key characters within the town: Eisenhart, a wealthy farmer who recognizes the wolves will return, overhauls her. A boisterous and condescending individual who likes to do nothing, Père Callahan, an erstwhile Catholic priest with a sinister history, who possesses a peculiar relic, the Black 13, one of the fatal crystal balls of the wizard's rainbow. The gunslingers start strategizing, to inquire, to listen. They need to know the wolves and devise means to thwart them, but time is passing fast. The wolves can arrive earlier than anticipated. Chapter 4. Father Callahan's Story. Père Callahan is a central figure within this epic. He recounts to the quartet his life, horror-filled interlude that crosses Stephen King's multiverse. He once resided in Jerusalem's Lot. Yes, the same town as Salem's Lot, and had his run-ins with vampires there. He got himself drunk on the world and fell from grace, and escaped through the secret doors of reality, winding up in Midworld, where he has dwelled ever since. He now watches over the Black Orb, the most sinister of the rainbow, which will corrupt anyone who takes it upon themselves to use it. This story extends the King universe. Readers know everything fits together. The tower is at the middle of it all, and something awful is pursuing them through these gates. Chapter 5. The Wolves Ride Again. As they collect more information, the quartet learns dire facts. The wolves are not merely legend. They are machines, Neon robots, equipped with advanced weaponry. They have masks that look like Doctor Doom from Marvel Comics, wield glowing green lightsabers and toss sneeches, deadly copies of Harry Potter's golden snitches. They are from the impenetrable area of Thunderclap, and worse yet, they might be affiliated with the Crimson King, the arch-nemesis at the center of the towers. Destruction. The gunslingers prepare the town for war. Roland trains them in ancient forms of battle. Jake is dispatched to investigate the suspicious happenings at the local Dogan, a tech campus that could be the wolves' staging area, but all isn't well within the quartet. Chapter 6. A Darkness Awakens. Susanna, who is taken over by demon consciousness called Mia, starts secretly getting up at night. She's pregnant, unfortunately so, and Mia wants to give birth to a baby called the Chap, a monster that could be serving the Crimson King. Susanna doesn't realize these incidents, but something is evolving. The others start to get suspicious of her unusual activities, but with the wolves approaching, there is no time to look inward, while Roland starts to employ a form of hypnotic technique known as the touch to perceive more than the naked eye. He also understands the pattern of the wolves is associated with an old ritual, and that the Calla might be the keystone to something much greater. Part 2. The Secrets of Thunderclap. Chapter 7. Preparing for War. As the wolves are to attack in under a month, the gunslingers start rigorous preparations. Roland teaches the villagers, turning farmers and merchants into soldiers. He instructs them in ancient battle formations and strategy employed during the times of Gilead. The Focan villagers start believing in the old ways once more. They recall the tales of gunslingers, not as legend, but as men who fought for honor and justice. But the foe is unlike any Roland has ever encountered. These are not human warriors. They are masked killers with high-tech gear, and they attack with surgical, terrifying efficiency. Even so, Roland is convinced that they can be defeated, but they have to know the enemy first. Jake comes into the picture. Chapter 8. Jake and the Dogan. Jake, the youngest member of the quartet, starts watching a strange building called the Dogan. Once a technological control center, it has decayed into an unsettling desolation. The Dogan is the point of intersection between worlds, filled with ghosts, charged with energy and resonating with faint, mechanical whispers. Within the Dogan, Jake undergoes time slippage. He receives visions of the origin of the wolves, hears murmurs of the Crimson King, and finds ancient machinery that appears to track other realities, one being our own Earth. He knows the wolves are not only raiders, they are harvesters, dispatched to bring children and to serve an even more evil intent. The twins taken are shipped to Thunderclap, a land of hopelessness and shadow. There, their psychic energy, the essence of twinhood, is sucked out and turned into a weapon to kill the tower, to end all worlds. Chapter 9. The Truth of the Wolves. The Katek convenes all their collected wisdom. The wolves are not living entities, but robotic creations, perhaps cloned or engineered with nefarious technology, born of Algol Ciento, a secretive facility governed by the Breakers. Breakers are telepaths, kidnapped from other worlds, especially talented children, used to telepathically break the beams that sustain the Dark Tower. The wolves take twin children because their psychic twinning results in the most powerful breakers. These are not mere raids. They are ritualized battles against reality itself. The work is no longer only to rescue Calla, it is to defend existence. Chapter 10. Mia's Hunger. As Susanna's inner anguish grows worse, she starts waking up in unfamiliar locations. Having no idea how she came to be there, her body acts as though it is not hers. That person is Mia, a demon-like presence which took her over during the course of the Wastelands and Song of Susanna, which takes place entirely in the next book. Mia is pregnant with a dark offspring, the chap who is destined to be the Crimson King's proxy. But how can Susanna be pregnant? She hasn't had sex with anyone. Then the memories come back. Recollections of demon sex from further back in the series, forgotten rituals and trysts that sowed this accursed seed. Mia is gaining power, Susanna losing strength. To keep her secret hidden, Susanna constructs another persona. Mia leads her into the Castle of Mirrors. There, in the psychological realm inside, the two women fight for dominance, and the victor will decide the child's destiny, and perhaps the tower's. Chapter 11. Eddie's Disasps. Eddie Dean, the former street corner heroin addict from New York, is now a confirmed gunslinger, but as he becomes increasingly enamored of Susanna, so does he become increasingly uncomfortable. He starts to notice her absence, her chilliness, the faraway glance in her eyes. He does not know why, but he knows the change. At the same time, Eddie starts thinking about his world. Our world. He is tormented by visions of the rose in an empty lot in New York City, its meaning and its vulnerability. He knows that all of this, the wolves, the tower, Mia, is part of a far larger canvas, one pull, and the entire thing comes apart. Chapter 12. Roland's Secret and the Agony of Leadership. Roland, always the leader, always the stoic, begins to crack. His sickness gets worse, his bones creak, his strength falters, but he conceals it. He must conceal it, because a gunslinger cannot be weak, but more than bodily suffering. He grapples with the sting of guilt. He has brought friends to their deaths before. He has lost love, youth, and conscience in the service of the tower. For will he lose Susanna as well? Can he bear to watch her slide into madness, or into Mia, and still complete his assignment? There is no simple answer, only the way of the gun. Chapter 13. The Calm Before the Wolves. The evening before war, the villagers whisper prayers and sharpen weapons. The gunslingers make final preparations for traps and combat positions. Father Callahan stands watch over the Black 13, afraid it will awaken. Susanna starts to disappear entirely. Jake dreams of doors. Doors between worlds that won't stay closed. In the dark quiet, Oi curls up beside Jake and whimpers. The wolves are close. The town holds its breath. Part 3. The Day of the Wolves. Chapter 14. Wolves in the Morning Mist. The dawn of battle breaks with eerie silence. A thick fog creeps over the rice fields and hills. The armed, Roland-trained villagers are at standing ambush positions, silent, shaking, but ready. Then it starts. The wolves appear, swift, silver-gray, masked with Dr. Doom faces, carrying lethal green energy guns and firing deadly sneeches, razor-edged, flying discs. Their appearance is both technological and demonic, a grotesque mixture of comic book evil and eldritch horror, but they have no idea what to expect from gunslingers. Chapter 15. The Gunslinger's Gambit. Roland's strategy is genius in its simplicity. The villagers conceal the actual twins in hiding places. Deceptives dressed up as children are utilized to entice the wolves into death zones. Barricades, trenches, and ambush sites have been dug all over the Calla fields. As the wolves ride in, the traps are triggered. Eddie Dean employs a repeating slingshot to fire explosive charges. Jake Chambers, camouflaged in a sniper's nest, shoots wolves down with cool aim. Roland, limping and hurting as he is quicker than lightning. His guns utter the high speech of death. The wolves drop, one at a time. They are machines, yes, but not immortal. And then something strange occurs. Chapter 16. Susanna and the Shadow Within. Susanna, deeply possessed by Mia now, joins the fight but with turmoil within. She shoots with unwavering accuracy. She stands with Roland and Eddie, but within, she's coming undone. Mia's hunger is growing. The baby within her stirs. Mia's whispers turn to shouts. During war, Susanna starts to dissociate, seeing blood and fire through blurred vision. Then suddenly, without warning, Mia takes over entirely, and Susanna is gone. No one sees. The battle rages on, and her absence is hidden in chaos but in a corner of the multiverse. Mia already escapes. Chapter 17. The wolves are broken. The tide of war shifts. The wolves, once frightening, are laid bare. They echo orders in robotic monotone. They break under stress. As the gunslingers learn to adapt, they find these beasts operate within rigid patterns, tactics conceived by creatures who never anticipated opposition. Their masks are broken, their tech is torn asunder, and they are taken down, one by one. Calla Sturgis, after all these generations of terror, has prevailed. The villagers scream in joy and incredulity. Mothers weep, fathers get on their knees. The curse is lifted, but in the victory, there is fear. Where is Susanna? Chapter 18. Jake's discovery. Jake gets a hollow resonance, a vibration in the fabric of existence. Oi, his faithful bumbler, sniffs the air and howls. They go back to the temple where Susanna last stood. There, a door is open. Not an ordinary door, but a door between worlds. Jake's heart falls. He knows Susanna is gone. No. Take in Roland, who already had a bad feeling, doesn't say anything. He looks up at the sky and feels Ka twist. They didn't merely win a battle. They've been outmaneuvered, outwitted, played. And now they must follow. Chapter 19. The Child of the Demon. Mia, meanwhile, is once again in control of Susanna's body, and she runs out the door and into an alternate world, a different New York City, but not quite the one Eddie and Jake are familiar with. There, she prepares for the birth of her demon brood. This child is no hybrid. It is old and evil. It is perhaps the tool of the Crimson King, brought forth to serve a single purpose, the destruction of the tower. Susanna's mind drifts in limbo, watching in horror as her body becomes a tool of dark foretelling. She has no control, unless the quartet reaches her before it is too late. Chapter 20. Secrets in the Black 13. Father Callahan, who remained behind to defend the town, now brings out the object he has been keeping secret. Black 13, the darkest of the wizard's rainbow stones. It is unadulterated chaos. It can open doors, it can distort time, and it may be the only means of pursuing Susanna, but it is not free. One must protect it, or it will destroy them completely. Callahan offers. He knows its evil all too well. Having battled vampires and far worse things in Salem's Lot, he will remain behind. But before the quartet departs, he cautions them. The tower is weakening, the beams are failing, and the Crimson King waits for you all at the edge of madness. Part 4. The Path of the Beam. Chapter 21. Beyond the Battle Road. As Calla Sturgis recovers and triumphs, Roland's quartet finds no happiness about it. The wolves were only a symptom. The sickness is past Thunderclap, past the woods, between worlds. Roland, Eddie, and Jake set out to follow after Susanna. They employ Black 13, with Callahan as their guide, to create a door between worlds. As he departs, Roland gives one final uncanny glance over the town he rescued. For an instant, he isn't so much a hero as a ghost. We have to leave, he tells them. Ka has other ideas. The villagers cry. The gunslingers vanish into the thinny. Chapter 22. Susanna, Mio, the Demon Mother. In New York, not quite our New York, Susanna, Mia enters a strange building. A restaurant named the Dixie Pig. It is not an ordinary establishment. It is a cover, a gate between worlds, a refuge for vampires, low men, and servants of the Crimson King. Here, Mia is treated as royalty. She is going to give birth to her son, the Chap, an individual who is set to destroy the tower and the multiverse. Within Susanna's mind, her soul cries out. She sees all now. Mia was manipulated. She was promised a child, but at what cost her body and Susanna's? The Chap is a combination of demon, magic, and human spirit, possibly partly Roland himself. From bad things that happened in Book 4, Wizard and Glass, the Crimson King intends to use the Chap to destroy the final of the beams, to bring reality crashing down to chaos and take dominion. Susanna, trapped in a state of mind, starts to plan for rebellion in secret. Chapter 23. Jake and Oi cross the worlds. Jake, accompanied by his profound intuition and his psychic connection with Oi the Billy Bumbler, returns to New York City, a 1990s iteration. His quest: locate Susanna, halt the birth, save the world. But the city is no longer secure. The low men in yellow coats prowl the streets, vampires, breakers, and shadow beings hiding behind doors and alleys. He turns to unlikely allies. An owner of a bookstore who has heard rumors of the tower, a madman who speaks prophecy and madness, a voice inside his head, perhaps Susanna herself, fighting her way back across the veil. Jake, coming into his own as a gunslinger, comes to accept his fate. There are other worlds than these, he whispers, but I will not lose her again. Chapter 24. The Crimson King's Design. Now the story returns to a broad cosmic perspective. The Crimson King, the chaos being trapped at the edge of existence, is glimpsed in pieces. Red eyes, thunder laughter, a voice shattering the sky. His minions, the wolves, the breakers, Mia, the low men, are all moving toward one end, to bring down the tower. The tower itself is collapsing. Birds take flight abnormally. Time stammers, beams groan. And only Roland's quartet holds back the multiverse from destruction. But even they are not safe. To save the tower, Roland believes, I might have to lose Susanna. The consideration shatters him, but he continues on.
Chapitre 25. Roland's confession.
Finally, Roland confesses something he has kept hidden even from his quartet. Long ago, he let a child, Jake, die, sacrificed for the tower's sake. Although he rescued Jake in a subsequent timeline, the experience torments him. He is afraid he might do the same to Susanna. He is honest with Eddie. Eddie explodes. Roland cries, but Ka holds them together. They journey on. We must find Susanna before the Chap is born. If not, the world's end. Chapter 26. Toward the Dixie Pig. The novel concludes in a build-up of tension. Roland, Eddie, and Jake all come together at the Dixie Pig, the lair of darkness where Mia is waiting for birth. Monsters congregate, breakers chant, shadows shift. Susanna screams in a bone-steel birthing bed. The Chap is crowning, the tower shakes, and on the eve of the last page, they arrive. Roland's gun glints. Eddie seethes with fury. Jake readies his blaster. Oi growls. The quartet is ready to battle not only for their friend,
but for all that exists.
Last lines of the book. Now comes the time of trial, the hour of destiny, and the field of roses waits at the end of all things. Find out more from the book. Thanks for listening to Book Buzz reviews and summaries.